The next thing on your pre-algebra review test was to solve for x in terms of y. And solving for x in terms of y is a lot like just solving for x. We need to get x all by itself on one side of the equal sign and then everything else on the other side of the equal sign. The only difference is that we don't know two parts of this equation. We don't know what the total is and we don't know what x is. And so that's why we have this second variable, y. And you could be like, okay, what's the point of solving for x in terms of y? And that's a very valid question. A lot of the time, you will run into algebra equations where you do have two missing variables. Sometimes you'll have even more missing variables. And in this case, we just have to choose one variable that we want to solve for. You can think of it as if you were conducting a study about something, right? So you have 7 of something. You know how that's going to be constant, okay? Like, let's say that somebody takes 7 pills every day during this study. But what we don't know is how that's going to affect the person. And we also don't know exactly which person is going to be taking it. Let's say you have 50 people in the study, and they all are taking the same 7 pills, but they all respond a little differently. Well, that's why x is a variable and y is a variable, because we're trying to do this study on lots of different people. We know one part of the study, but we don't know the results, and we don't know everything that's going to happen in the study. But the easiest thing that we can figure out is which person is taking the pill, and that's going to be x. If this is a really stupid example, it would make more sense if you ever decide to take statistics, but I'll try to explain it one other way. So you're doing a study about the effectiveness of sugar pills. And they actually do use sugar pills in studies. They're called placebos, and they convince people that they're actually taking a pill to see how much of a pill's effect is just people thinking it's doing something for them and how much it's actually doing for them. So anyway, in this study, you have 50 people. 50 people. And you're going to split them into 2 groups, each of 25. And this 25 group, this group gets sugar pills. And then in this group, nobody gets sugar pills. And so you're studying exactly what the sugar pills are going to do to this 25 people. Well, you're going to take one person from this group, and you're going to name them X. You're going to give them the 7 pills, and then you're going to see what happens. And then you're going to do that again. You're going to take another person from this group, and you're going to give them the pills, and you're going to name those x, put them into the same equation, and see what happens. And because you're using the exact same equation, you're going to get results that you can compare to one another. And so that's why you can have multiple people be x, and then you want to see what y is. Hopefully that made a little more sense. I am pretty passionate about statistics. I think it's very fun to understand what's going on when you're reading studies, but not everybody is. So let's get back to the math. When you're solving this problem, all you got to do is get x all by itself on one side of the equal sign. It doesn't matter which side, it just has to be all by itself, and then everything else on the other side. So the easiest way to do this when we're looking at this problem is just to move whatever's over by x across the equal sign to the other side. In this case, we need to get rid of the 7. How do we do that? Well, we just do the opposite of whatever it is, right? We need to make this disappear from this side and show up on this side. So in this case, we're going to subtract 7, because 7 minus 7 is 0. So that will give us x plus 0, which is perfect. And then whatever we do on one side, we have to do the other, so we're going to subtract 7 from the other side. So that's y minus 7. And so the answer is x equals y minus 7. Like I said, it's basically just solving for x, but in this case, your answer will have an unknown variable as part of the answer, in this case, y. Alright, that's all for that. We'll see you in the next one.